Hello students, so this is second video lecture of chapter number 3 Plant Kingdom, and I'm your teacher Raminder Kaur. So we are going to talk about today about the division Thallophyta, which is also known as algae, and it is a very first division of kingdom Plantae, and others are like bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. In this video lecture, I will talk about the various characteristic features of different kinds of algae like green, brown and red algae. And even we will talk about their kind and mode of reproduction, that could be vegetative, asexual and sexual mode of reproduction. So in the very first picture, it's very clear. Algae can be grown anywhere, wherever moisture and humidity is present. So they have chlorophyll pigment. It does not mean that brown and red algae, they lack chlorophyll, because chlorophyll pigment is of different types. A, B, C, D and E, and different kind of other pigments which are giving different and beautiful colors to these Thallophyta category. So in the chloroplast organelle, this pigment is present, and these algae are very simple in structure. They do not have root or proper stem, and they do not consist of any leaf-like structures. This kind of plant body where root, stem and leaves and other branches are absent, we call it as thallus, and the plant body is thalloid. I am repeating, in the structures of the plants where root, stem and branches of leaves are absent, we call the plant body as thallus, Thallus, and the plant body is called as thalloid. Autotrophic means because of all the different kind of algae, whether they are red, green or brown, they can prepare their own food with the help of photosynthesis. So usually if they require moisture and humidity, means they can grow in aquatic conditions. Either it could be freshwater or it can be marine. They can grow anywhere, on the stones, in the soil, on the log of the wood. So you must have seen sometimes they grow in the containers where the water remains stagnant for many days. So it can divide by fragmentation. That's why reproduction is quite fast. Some of them, they are living in association with fungus, as in the previous chapter we have talked about lichens, where they show symbiotic relationship with the fungus. One is a phycobiont and other is a mycobiont area. And sometimes they can live in association and they can grow on the surface of the animals such as sloth, bear. So their form, their size, their shape, that can vary from one algae to the another. Some of them, they can be living in colonies. So as we are living in a society, so many different houses are being built in one society. Similarly, these kind of algae, they can form colonies, and one of the common example is volvox. So let's look on the next page where the diagrams of the algae are given. So in the very first picture, you can see a round structure. So this is a volvox example, daughter colony and the parent colony. So different algae, they are living together with each other. That is called as colonial structure, and example is volvox. Now, the second kind is filamentous. That examples are Ulothrix and Spirogyra. So Spirogyra you have heard of many times, because we are usually describing the mode of reproduction, that is fragmentation, with the help of this example. Then if we talk about their modes of reproduction, as already told, they can reproduce vegetatively, asexually as well as sexual mode of reproduction. Before starting, let me clear what are the three different modes of reproduction. Whenever plants or any other such kind of algae, they are using their body parts to grow, to divide, that is called as vegetative. Generally, if we say, there are different examples in flowering plants. If we cut the stem of the rose, then that stem can grow into a new plant. So here stem acting as a vegetative part. Sometimes in ginger and turmeric, roots can be used to grow into new plant. Again, a root is a vegetative part. And buds are used. Then leaves in bryophyllum, they can be the vegetative parts. So vegetative means when the plant body itself can be used to grow into a new plant body. Then coming to a difference between asexual and sexual modes of reproduction. When single parent is required, it is called asexual. And when two parents are required means when they are forming two different kind of gametes. One is called as male gamete and other is called as female gamete. And when they fuse with each other, that kind of reproduction is called as sexual mode of reproduction. Now let's talk about in algae, vegetative reproduction takes by fragmentation. What is fragmentation? Body is divided into many fragments. Fragments means parts, sections. So, and each part or section is able to give rise to a new algae. So that plant body of algae is called as thallus, as I already told. Asexual mode of reproduction is done by formation of different kind of spores, because there is only single parent, and the spores in algae, they are called as zoospores. A very common idea about the zoospore is that they are round in structure. That's why they are called as zoospore. Now you can see our diagram on the left hand side. I have shown different kind of zoospores as well as different kind of gametes. They have small thread-like structures on the top. These are called as flagella. If the zoospores, they have flagella, then they can move easily and we call them as motile. And they can easily grow into a new plant or a thallus body. Number third kind of reproduction is sexual reproduction. So when male and female gamete fuse with each other, that give rise to sexual reproduction. These gametes, they can be flagellated or they can be non-flagellated. So if they have flagella, then we call them as motile, and if they do not carry any flagella, like you can see in third structure, the egg, in case of oogamy, the egg is bigger in size and it does not contain any flagella. It means they are non-flagellated and they are non-motile in nature. But in case of isogamy, can you differentiate which is male and which is female gamete? No. Why so? Because both are similar in size. Both are similar in size and we call them as isogamous gametes, and this is known as, this fusion is called as isogamy. These are the examples as in Spirogyra or Ulothrix. Number second, if you see, female gamete is larger than the male gamete. This kind of gametic structure is known as anisogamous, and examples are Eudorina. And this kind of fusion is known as anisogamy. Number third kind of reproduction in which you can see in third structure, that is oogamy. And in this case, one is larger in structure without flagella. And the other one, which is sperm, that is having flagella, that is motile. One can move and other cannot. So this kind of condition is called as oogamy, and the kind of gametes are called as oogamous. These are very common in volvox and fucus algae. This last oogamy process is almost similar to humans, because in the female body egg is produced and it is non-motile as well as big in structure. But in the male body, sperms are produced. They are microscopic in nature and even they are having tail which help them to move. So this oogamous condition is usually found in humans as well as even in other mammals also. Now let's talk about the different diagrams which are given here. So as we have already talked about volvox and Ulothrix, so these are the colonious forms of algae which are living with each other in a society. Next you can see they are also examples of green algae, and next is brown algae. So you can see they have different body parts. They have root-like structures. So whenever we talk about these algae, bryophyta, because they are not complete plants. Why they are not complete? Because they lack roots, they lack stem, and they lack leaf. But they have structures which look like roots, which look like stem, and which look like leaves. So hold fast is that structure which can bind to the surface wherever they are growing, and stipe is that part which looks like stem and holding the leaf-like structure called as frond. So these are the brown algae. Next is red algae, for example Porphyra or Polysiphonia. So they have the well exposed leaf-like structure called as frond, right? So let's talk about now what are the commercial uses of algae. Algae are mostly useful to humans. Not only they are fixing the carbon dioxide and giving us a source of oxygen, but even they can be used as primary producers of energy rich compounds. So the people who are going to space, they can use it as a food supplement. So in this topic, we will talk about the various economical and commercial uses of algae, and they are very important from exam point of view as well. In the left diagram, you can see they are used in cosmetics, they are used as medicines in nutraceuticals, then pharmaceuticals, in the form of vitamins. They are directly used in food materials, they are used as fertilizers and nutrients, animal feed, feedstock, bioplastics and biofuel. So number one, they are fixing carbon dioxide and giving us oxygen. Number second, they can produce different kind of food material for the aquatic animals because they can grow in sea, ocean, rivers, anywhere in any aquatic body. Third is many species like Porphyra, Laminaria, Sargassum. They are about 70% species which are used as food. Some of the brown and red algae, they can produce water holding substances. You must like to eat different kind of ice creams and jellies. So algae are also used in preparation of these jellies and ice creams. And the name of that is agar. And the algae from which that agar is made is known as Gelidium and Gracilaria. So brown algae, it can produce algin, the component which is used, and red algae, carrageen. Last and important use is the space travelers, they use this chlorella. That is a unicellular algae that is rich in proteins because they have to carry a very less amount of food supplement with them. So they carry this because it is a cheapest source of protein so that they can easily develop their body parts. So there are three further divisions of this algae, division Thallophyta. One is Chlorophyceae, which we also call as green algae. Number second, Phaeophyceae, that we also call as brown algae. Number third, Rhodophyceae, which we also call as red algae. So in the picture on the left hand side, you can see the different structures: Phaeophyceae, Chlorophyceae and Rhodophyceae. Let's start with Chlorophyceae. So how do they look? They are usually found in almost all aquatic bodies. Even around us, you can see different kind of green algae. So about their structure, they are unicellular in nature. Generally, we have talked about that all the kind of organisms found in the plant kingdom, they are multicellular, but there are some exceptions. So this green algae, that is unicellular, made up of single cell. Because they are living in colonies, so they look like they are multicellular in nature. They can be either filamentous or colonial. Why they are green in color? Because they are rich in the pigment that is green, chlorophyll A and B. And in the definite chloroplast, they are present. The structure of chloroplast can vary. Sometimes they can be oval shaped, ribbon shaped, cup shaped, plate like, and they vary from one species to the another. One more important thing. Can you see on the picture in the left hand side, there is unicellular algae that is called as vegetative cell, right? Can you see a pyrenoid written? This pyrenoid is a special body that can store proteins besides starch. Besides starch means along with starch, they can also contain proteins in them because they are going to produce food. So some algae, they may store food in the form of oil droplets. And what about their cell wall structure? Their inner layer of cellulose is there and outer layer is made up of pectose. If we talk about vegetative reproduction, that generally takes by either fragmentation, and asexual reproduction takes place by formation of spores. What do we call these spores? We call them as zoospores. And the structure in which they are produced, we call them as zoosporangia. If we look upon this structure, they have this vegetative cell. Why do we call them as vegetative cell? Because single parent is involved in the reproduction, right? So they have nucleus, they have protoplasm, they have two flagellas because they are motile in nature. Now this vegetative cell, when it is ready to divide, it can withdraw the flagella inside, and the internal protoplasm is dividing into two. Two of them divide into four. Now what these four protoplasm will form? They will form four zoospores. All zoospores, now their flagella will expose and they are ready to grow into a new algae-like structure. So this is important. This is asexual mode of reproduction. In case of sexual reproduction, they can make two kind of gametes like we have already talked about, either similar size gametes, or one is larger, other is smaller, or one is non-motile and other is motile. So isogamy, anisogamy and oogamy. So green algae, you have to know either on 2 or 3 examples of green algae. Next come to Phaeophyceae, which is also known as brown algae. They are not found in fresh water, but they are found in sea and ocean, means marine habitat. They can vary in size, structure, form. They can be branched and they are filamentous in nature, or they can be profusely branched. Profusely means greatly. A very high strength branching can be found. Represented by kelps, you can see you cannot differentiate one algae with the another, and they can reach up to the height of 100 meters. Which kind of chlorophyll pigments are present in brown algae? Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, then the pigments carotenoids and xanthophylls. In carrots are of red color, so they contain these carotenoids. So similarly, brown algae also contain carotenoids and xanthophylls. They can vary in color from olive green to various shades of brown, dark brown, light brown, depending upon the amount of pigments, concentration of pigment found in them. Fucoxanthin is also found in them. You can see the structure as we have already studied in that picture diagram. So holdfast is a root-like structure, then stipe is called a stem-like structure, and frond are the leaf-like structures which are present on the top. Like we have talked about in Chlorophyceae, food is stored in pyrenoids, but here food is stored as a complex carbohydrate that can be either in the form of laminarin or mannitol. These are the name of the chemicals which can store carbohydrates in them. Now they have cellulose layer around them and one more layer, one more coating, that is a gelatin-like structure called as algin. The protoplast means what? Cytoplasm plus nucleus. They have plastids in them because plastids are the characteristic and peculiar feature of plants. Plastids can be of 3 types: chloroplast, chromoplast, leucoplast. And the plant body we have already talked about: holdfast, then stipe and the frond. So frond, if it is green algae, then they are green in color. If it is brown algae, then they are brown in color. If it is red algae, then they are red in color. So vegetative reproduction is exactly same by fragmentation. Asexual reproduction is also same. It is with the help of zoospores. Zoospores are motile in nature and they have flagella. But here they have two unequal flagella. In the case of green algae, we have talked about where the flagella were of same size. If we talk about sexual reproduction, it is also same. Either the gametes can be of same size, or one can be big, other can be small, or one can be non-motile and other can be motile. What is the place of fertilization of the gametes? This is very important question. Question can come, what is the place or mode of fertilization in algae? Answer is in water. Water acts as the medium for fertilization of these kind of gametes in algae. So there can be of different shape, they can be pear shaped and they can have two flagella in them. Again, you have to learn either 2 or 3 examples of brown algae. So if I zoom on this mode of reproduction in case of this brown algae, you can see asexual reproduction is also shown, sexual reproduction is also shown. Now there are two terms which are mentioned. One is mitosis and other is meiosis. Mitosis is the division that is called as equational division. Equational division means if the parent is diploid, if the parent having two set of chromosomes, if the division takes place by mitosis, the next cells will also be having the same number of chromosomes. But in meiosis, as you have studied in human sex determination, that one parent and the other parent, both of them are having diploid number of chromosomes, means 46 in mother and 46 in father. So gametes will be produced of two types, 23 plus 23, same in father, 23 plus 23. Why meiosis is called as reductional division? Because when the gametes of each parent will fuse with each other, it will again regain the same number of chromosome, that is 46. I am repeating, there are two kind of cell divisions. One is mitosis and second is meiosis. Mitosis means when the same number of chromosomes will remain, like you can see on the right diagram where asexual reproduction is mentioned. Mature cell, then it is written N. What is the meaning of N? It means single set of chromosome. We usually say humans and all other animals, they have diploid. They are diploid organism, means we have two set of chromosomes. 23 multiplied by 2 is equal to 46. It means we have two set of chromosomes. Here in the mature cell, they have said N, means when they will divide, all the cells will be again N, means zoospores will be N. But when they will produce gametes, see, the gametes, one gamete is N, other gamete is also N. Single set of chromosomes are there. But when they fuse, what will happen? 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So zygote is always diploid. Zygote always contain double set of chromosomes. And when it will again further mature, it will form zygospore, and now meiosis will take place. Zoospores will be again N, means it is again a reductional division where the zoospores which are formed, they are again haploid in nature. I am repeating the terms. When single N is there, it is called as haploid. But when 2N is there, it is called as diploid. Haploid means single set of chromosome and 2N diploid means two sets of chromosome. When mitosis takes place, N is equal to N or 2N is equal to 2N. Is equal to means after division also same number of chromosomes remains. But when meiosis takes place, it is compulsory that 2N will form N, means N plus N. I hope this is clear, and I will also explain it in brief in the next lectures, because this mitosis and meiosis is very important as you are doing reproduction in each and every division of this plant kingdom. Now let's talk about the number 3rd classification of algae or Thallophyta division, that is called as red algae or Rhodophyceae. They do not contain any chlorophyll A, B or C pigments, but they contain most important dominant pigment that is called as R-phycoerythrin in their body. Majority of the red algae, they are found in warm areas. They can take place in well-lighted regions close to the surface of water and even to the greater depths in ocean. Sometimes you can see there is a red wave or red zone. Similarly, as we have talked about dinoflagellate, so similarly the sea or the ocean can appear red in color because of these algae-like structures. So red thallus, they are always multicellular. Some of them, they can be complex, and the food is stored in Floridian starch, which is similar to amylopectin and glycogen in structure. Like if I ask you that in which form food is stored in human body, so that answer is glycogen. We store the food in the form of glycogen. And red algae, they can reproduce vegetatively by fragmentation, so it is similar. And asexually, they reproduce by non-motile spores. So this is important line to underline. Otherwise, we have talked about that always the motile zoospores, they are reproducing asexually. And sexually by non-motile gametes, sexual reproduction is oogamous, means one is non-motile and other is motile. One is big and other is small. And there are again 3-4 examples which are given. So you can pick up any 2 or 3 examples in this algae. To summarize, this table is very important, division of algae and their main characteristics. You have to draw this table in the notebook as well, because this gives you a clear idea about the different kind of divisions in algae. They have talked about their common names, the kind of pigments which are found in them, in which form the food is stored, what is the cell wall made up of, how many flagellas could be there, and what about their habitat. So thank you students. So learn this table, it is very important.